Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially the Super Bowl of crypto and finance today. That is right. The FOMC meeting is here, and the Fed is hours away from either pumping crypto to massive new all-time highs or ultimately raining on the parade and causing crypto to crash. Now, I'm going to be talking about in this video why I believe that the Fed is about to pump crypto. We're going to be addressing it in depth, talking about some, charts, also addressing what's been happening around crypto as well, and why I do think that everyone should prepare now because it feels very similar to 2020. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's dive on in real quick to the overall market. We are well over $2.5 trillion now. Market cap up about roughly 1.51%. Nothing too crazy there. The market cap has been rising around some altcoins though. And if we look real quick at the last 7 days, the last 24 hours, Ethereum is now outperforming Bitcoin. And trading volume in the last 24 hours on Bitcoin, almost $70 billion, insane. Also on Ethereum, sitting at about roughly $34 billion. Now, outside of that, if we go over here to see the overall amounts of money added to the market cap of cryptocurrency in the last 24 hours or so, it was over $200 billion yesterday. That is insane. And this is because of the presidential campaign with Trump winning. It feels as though we're kind of moving towards a pro-crypto stance in the US. And if this is the case, I do expect 2025 to be an absolute monster year for crypto, or at least the first, 2 quarters of 2025. We're going to be talking about that as, time goes on, we get closer to it, because right now it's pretty hard to predict where things are going to head in quarter one. But regardless, if we look at the top gainers in crypto in the last 24 hours on the top 500, some nice, strong gains across the board, some great opportunities out there as well. The free Discord, which I think everyone that is watching this should be in the free Discord. There's a link down in the description below. We were talking about Radium. Radium's doing very good. In fact, I actually think that this thing has almost tripled since we talked about it in the Discord. I mean, this thing is a monster gainer. And also outside of Radium, we also see a few other things like Venara Chain doing very well. TrueFi also doing very well. 0x0 also doing good. There's some great gains right now happening in this space, but I just want you guys to understand that this is nowhere near what alt season actually looks like, which I do think that we are getting very close to it because, like I said, this is Bitcoin, this is Ethereum. Ethereum looks stronger than Bitcoin right now. I'm not going to say it too early, and I even said this on X as well, right? Because I said I don't want to call it too early, but it really feels like we are entering phase 2 of the bull run, i.e., the Ethereum phase. Alt season is next if that's the case. And for those out there that are new to, the space or maybe new to the path to alt season, this is what I was talking about, right? Phase 1 is Bitcoin. Money flows into Bitcoin, causing prices to surge. And then also we get into that phase overlap. Money flows into Ethereum, but it struggles to keep up with Bitcoin. Right now, we actually look at this, right? We're kind of in that next phase, which is Ethereum goes back and forth with Bitcoin and starts outperforming it. And if we look at the last, roughly, let's go back to the last 7 days. This is the last 7 days on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Very, very similar moves here. Last month, again, very similar moves here, but it looks as though Ethereum is looking pretty strong. It's close, neck to neck with Bitcoin right now. So we're kind of getting into that phase 2 talk. And in phase 2, we get that overlap where money starts to flow into large caps, aka, these altcoins that have larger market caps. XRP is one of them, for an example. ADA, we can go on and on about them. But then that is officially where we start to look at alt season. So I do think that we're getting close to it. Now, the big warning sign is going to be Bitcoin dominance breaking down heavy. I see a lot of people already calling for it. I mean, listen, this thing is down roughly, 1.3% currently speaking. It's down about 0.92%, nothing too crazy there. But this has been seeing a little bit of a strong rejection right around that gray area. This is the area that everyone should be focused on when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, because this is where we most likely see a top for Bitcoin dominance. I do think that we're close. Now, if we are at that 2020, time period in history of crypto, we probably have about 1 month left until alt season officially kicks in. So by the end of December, beginning of January, we should be really kind of looking at alt season officially, being here and starting. Now, if we look at Bitcoin dominance and then we look at Ethereum dominance after hitting this massive demand zone going all the way back to 2021, it's having a nice little strong spike here. Now, like I said, I don't want to call it too early because this thing could still chop a little bit. But this is a very strong impulse. We're on the weekly chart here. If we go to the daily, you can see how strong this has been. This is also why, if we go back to the top gainers, let's just go to the top 100. Okay, last 24 hours, there is a very strong move across the board when it comes to the top 100. A lot of these tokens in the top 100 don't move heavily, but they are starting to move in a significant way. If we go back to the last 7 days, you can see some very strong gains across the board. Now, if we go to the top 500, it's a little bit more prominent with a 100% gain on a lot of these. But for the most part, altcoins have been taking a little bit of a lead over the market. For an example, Maple, another project called in the Discord for free. I mean, this thing in the last 7 days is up 27%. In the last month, it's up 74%. This is because altcoins are starting to show a lot more strength, and we're starting to see dominance usurped from Bitcoin. Now, it's too early to call just yet, but I do think that once this trend is lost on Bitcoin dominance, everyone needs to have a game plan in place. Now, like I said, today is officially the day that we get the FOMC meeting. The FOMC meeting with the interest rate decision, it's going to be a volatile day. Let's just be honest here. It's going to be pretty volatile today. We're going to see a lot of wicks, probably a lot of liquidations. So just make sure that you are aware of that. Now, the reason why I think that the Fed is going to pump these markets is because, listen, we have liquidity injections happening. Liquidity is starting to improve a bit. We have a new president coming into place. So I think that now the land is ripe for the Fed to start to really kind of inject liquidity. We'll probably see another, rate cut, maybe even a pause, then get the rate cut in December. We don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but I see a lot of predictions around this. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. My guess, 25 BPS cut. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens, but I do think that's going to be volatile. Like I said, if we look at Bitcoin, I just want to go back real quick to the last FOMC meeting. Yes, we did get a rate cut that day. This was the daily candle. From that point to the next high, we pumped about 12.34%. Yes, we did sell off. We retested a nice low on this trend line before having that much larger expansion to the upside. Now, if we really kind of look at this, all right, the big thing to focus on is if we do get a similar move to the 18th of September, right, it would be a 12.34% move. It would break the inflation adjusted all-time high. Retail is unaware of the inflation adjusted all-time high. I said it in my live stream the other day. I mentioned it multiple times. A lot of people think that Bitcoin has broken a new all-time high. Technically, yes, it has on the chart. But if we are adjusting the all-time high for inflation, this is the 2021 all-time high that actually needs to be broken with inflation adjusted. So $78,000 roughly is the all-time high. Having a similar move to September 18th on Bitcoin right now would significantly break the all-time high, pump to 84,000 almost dollars. Mainstream media will go absolutely crazy. They'll be talking about Bitcoin all day long today on CNBC. They'll be talking about it on, all of the mainstream outlets. We'll see a ton of Twitter posts about it. This would rope retail back in, bringing in a ton of money as well. Now, the other case is, what if the Fed doesn't pump crypto? Well, regardless of what the Fed does today, I still think that crypto is going to do very well. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if we had a massive fair value gap filled somewhere around like 70,500 to like, if we're really looking at this on like the 12-hour or on like the lower time frames, let's just go to like the 4-hour real quick. So my best guess when it comes to a fair value gap being filled, it would be around roughly the $70,563 level to about $72,774. It would look like this if we were going to have that move where we kind of chop down here, maybe have a slight wick below it, and then we finally, push above this, retest it, and then go. We'll definitely watch it. We'll definitely watch it live. I won't be doing a live stream for it, but I do think that we should prepare for the best, expect the worst. That way we're not completely blindsided by what happens today. Make sure that you do have stablecoins on the sidelines. We have a clear breakout here on Bitcoin. Let's just be honest. If we're looking at the trend line, just really kind of drawing this real quick, this is what that breakout looks like. Very strong impulse move above it. So right now, things are looking pretty good. Let's see what happens today. I do expect the Fed to pretty much ease up with the rate the rate hikes and things like that. So we'll probably get another cut. 25 BPS is my best guess on that. If they do, if they do 0.50 BPS, that would be absolutely insane. I'm not expecting it. We'll definitely see what happens. But also if we look at Ethereum, it's a very similar case, right? The last time that we did get the rate cut, Ethereum went parabolic. I mean, let's just be real here. Ethereum from that day, from the bottom candle of that day, pumped about 19.61%. Again, if we're going to the bottom of the candle today, and if we're going to pump 19.61%, we would be sitting at about roughly $3,231 for an Ethereum. So, I mean, that's a pretty significant move. We'll watch and wait and see what the Fed does today. But, again, expect volatility. But for the most part, I do think that we are getting close to that phase 2 of the cycle. Alt season quickly follows after. We have about roughly 3 to 6 months. Once alt season officially begins, you'll know when it begins. Bitcoin dominance will start to sell off heavily. Just for reference, let's go back to the 3-day so it doesn't look a little bit rough. I could also go back here faster. This is what you really want to see on Bitcoin dominance. You want to see a clear wick to the upside and then a massive sell-off. We're talking about a very quick sell-off too. The initial candles here, let's go back to the daily just so that you guys can see this. Again, I just want you guys to understand how quick alt season officially actually happens. So in one single day, we had Bitcoin dominance wick to 73.61% and also drop almost 5% in one single day, down past 70%. And then the next day, it also followed through with a total of 8% being a drop down to 67.66. Had a slight dead cat bounce, but then it just continued. And this continued all the way through January. And we lost the trend officially. Again, that's what we are watching for over here, is where we do really kind of lose this trend. I do think that will be, significant enough to say, all right, that's it. Alt season is officially next. Prepare accordingly. Have a plan in place. I just want you guys to understand it's so crucial to have a plan right now. Have an exit plan. Don't take screenshots. Start taking profits when you're feeling euphoric. And also, when you see euphoria entering the space, that's when you want to start, taking some profits. When everyone's calling you up, talking about crypto, they know that you're the crypto guy, right? That's when you really want to start taking profits. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.